which step 2 is what actually, well, part 2 is what actually tells it which blocks to light up, which is this large thing here. And I'm sure I could condense it down a little bit more, but I haven't gotten around to it. I will build a version 2 of this, I'm sure, because there's one glitch that I need to figure out how to get rid of on it. That I'll tell you about here later. But yeah, all of this is what I'm going to build. And what this is that this transmitter, well, receiver, gets the signal off of the button at the beginning, which sends out a quick burst through all of this redstone wiring, which goes to these, which are random bit emitters, which send out a signal randomly. So when these get power to them, they'll randomly send out a signal as well, and that means that sometimes they do turn on and sometimes they don't. It's just completely random and there's no sense to it. And when that goes off, these all lead to a transmitter, which are named with the same names that are on the receivers that lead to these glowstone bulbs. I'm so sorry about the sneeze. Probably gonna cut that out, or not, I don't know. Depends if I get around to actually editing it in this video. But, yeah, sorry about that. And, so yeah, that's what I'm gonna build for you guys next, is this second part. And just so you guys know, 2 things. One, because of the way these transmitters work, these transmitters and receivers, you don't have to have these things close together. You can have them actually pretty far apart from each other, and they'll still work just fine, and it doesn't matter which way they face. As long as they're within, I forget how long of a distance it is for Falsebooks or triggers, but they'll still work if they're far apart. I just have them all in one area because I wanted to build it condensed down. You know. No, you don't. Oh well. But yeah, we're gonna build this. And it also doesn't matter how these signs are numbered or which order they're in, because 1, 1, and 1, 2, and 1, 3 don't have to all be together. As long as they're somewhere on this wall, it doesn't matter, because since we're randomly generating the numbers, well, the signals for them, they'll still get a random signal no matter where they are. It's not like it's not gonna magically work if you know, they're not consecutive. But yeah, let's go ahead and build this. So we gotta start this out with, come over here to do this, the receiver. So MC 0111 slot 2, which is exactly what we put over here. So come back, cassette cable, and then we throw this on the back, and then we lead redstone from that. And then we need 9 different things going this way for receivers. And the way I do it to make it in a smaller area is we put down a couple, and we're going to put down a block in between these. So we got a path for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, wait, sorry, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And that is more than enough area for this glowstone here to hit all of it. And if you're a little iffy on it, then you can just pull down that switch and it'll power everything, because you can do it manually. And then we hit some redstone up there on top of all these blocks. And then we're going to come up and actually let's build these ones first that are on the floor. So go ahead, put 2 redstone, dust down. And the reason it needs, well, that you use 2 is you don't have to, because we have these repeaters here, but you need the redstone to be in a line when it's going towards these signs, because if it's just a dot, that won't work. It won't send it to the sign, it'll just power this block here. So yeah, it needs to be a line, or it needs to lead out of a repeater. I just used 2 because it was convenient for me at the time. Then put down a block, 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 and block. And then we put down the random bit IC, which is right over here, which is MC1020. Now don't get this confused with the MC0020, because there is a random bit generator that is in Falsebook that is called MC0020, and what that one does is it sends out a random signal all the time, constantly. There's no way to stop it from sending out random signals, and that doesn't work for this, because the signals, you just want it to, you know, send off a quick one or not send off one, just 1 second. Only when it receives that 1 second of energy or signal do you want it to send out anything, which is what the MC1020s do. They only send out signal or random signals while they get power. And then once they lose the power that they're given, which since we're using a button, they only get a second of it, then they just stay whatever state they're in, which is either on or off. So let me throw these switches on the back. And these switches are going to lead straight into our transmitters. So we go over here and we put down the transmitter. So MC1110, what was it? 4S11. And then I'm going to come over here, and this is a different order than I did it in the other version that I showed you that's all ripped apart, because these aren't in the same order as that, but like I told you, that doesn't matter. As long as they're all there, it'll work. So then we just go through and we label all these. So now what happens here is that you press that button and it sends a signal to this, which sends a quick signal to all of these, which randomly generate an on or off state. And when these turn on, then they send power to these transmitters, which sends power to a couple of these glowstone lamps. So when these have power, then the glowstone lamps turn on. When those don't have power because they didn't get flipped on, then they don't. So we can test out the part that we have tested out here. So that turned on all of them. And click again. And that one didn't want to be on. And that one didn't want to be on. And those two didn't. So yeah, the ones that we have set up are working. And now we have to build the step. Well, the other ones. So we just come up here and we go up one. Why do we go up one? I don't know. That's just what I wanted to do at the time. And it still works. So we go through, throw dust on the top of these. And I felt the urge to come out here. Unneeded block. So knock that straight out. So we'll go ahead and hit that up. We put down another random bit generator, which is now at this point I'm sure you understand how to make this random bit generator. So I'm going to use World Edit, which is another simple mod plugin, or mod/plugin for a bucket server, which lets you copy and paste things from your server to other parts of it. So I'm just going to copy and paste this little bit here, that way I don't have to keep typing it. So I'm going to come over here, put in those two blocks, paste that in, and then add the redstone I need. And I'm going to do that 2 more times. Now I'm going to go ahead and tell all you guys that I am by no means a redstone expert. I teach myself through trial and error, and I don't know what I'm doing half the time. I just know I want certain things to work. So if I'm doing things that are in an illogical manner, like maybe it would have been fine for me to put these blocks down one more, or something like that, or maybe there's an easier way to do what I'm doing. I understand that that might be the case, but I don't know how to do it. So I stick with what I know. So then we come out here, we're going to build out 2 from each of these platforms and take out the middle one, because that gives us, well, no, we need to build out 3, because I can't count. But yeah, there you go. 3, take out 2, 3, take out 2, 1, 2, 3, and take out the 2. And why we do that is so we can put a lever, a lever, a lever, and a lever, and then we place in the rest of the transmitters. So we left off at S22, so we'll go in here. Alright, so we have all the transmitters set up and all of the random bit generators set up. So at this point, we have a mostly functioning slot machine. Well, kind of a slot machine, you know. So our main objective is you win when you get these 3 blocks to light up, because they're in the middle and those are the ones you want. So then you click that, and oh, I have just hit everything because all of the switches are down, power's going to everything. Then we click it again, and oh, I'm losing again. But it's all completely random, and now we need to find a way to tell the machine when somebody wins and how they win. So what we need for that is to build the 3rd step,